So, men and women are different. You notice that? Yeah, it's God's fault. He made us so different that it can create a lot of difficulty in navigating the seas of life as we partner with someone of the opposite sex. It's like he tore his heart into and embodied some of his strength and beauty in a woman and some of his strength and beauty in a man. So I like to think that men are like barges and women like sailboats. What do I mean? Well, barges are meant to carry weight. They carry cargo and they do a good job of it. They're not easily capsized. And they don't throw the cargo overboard by turning too quickly. As a matter of fact, barges turn rather slowly. And they do it generally in response to tension from one corner of the barge, gradually changing the trajectory and using the momentum to get the barge going in a new way. Good news is that the barge is faithful and continues moving in the assigned direction without wavering. It's a great thing. It's beautiful to see how barges can do their job. At the same time, barges don't go very deep in the water, and they don't have a sail. They're not as emotionally connected as women, nor do they have the intuition or some of the spiritual sensitivity that is innate in many women. Women, in contrast, I think are like sailboats. They have a shapely, deep hull that connects deeply with the water. It's an emotional connection that women have with their own heart and with the hearts of others. They're very relational. Sailboats also have sails that catch the wind. Women, we know, have a sense of intuition, and often they have a spiritual sensitivity or relational sensitivity that goes beyond that of most men. These qualities of a sailboat allow it to change directions quickly. Women can go from one task to another, from cooking dinner to dealing with a fight between children, or saying, wow, that's awesome, to a little drawing that their child has done. They're able to tune in to immediate needs and requests. They're able to stay connected to themselves, to God, and to others. And they're able to change directions quickly, but still stay on course, to get to the goal by zigzagging back and forth. Very different than a barge. Of course, sailboats can be capsized by the winds and the waves, and sometimes they need assistance from the barge to help get back up. We are functioning best when we partner with each other, especially when there are problems, decisions, or solutions that need to be arrived at. It helps to use the strength of the sailboat along with the strength of the barge to get us where we need to go. I find in my relationship with Terry that sometimes she'll present a new direction, a request, or a need, and my immediate response is negative. I immediately think about the cost, financially, emotionally, the change that it will require of me or my time, and I resist the new direction. The good news is, ladies, that if you get resistance from a man, it's often because he is taking it seriously and realizing what is at stake. What some women do in the face of resistance is to jerk harder or just give up and say, fine, forget I asked. Either of these responses misses the mark. If a woman can stay the course and keep the tension on the corner of the barge, over time, the barge will likely turn. As that idea or new direction kind of settles in the brain of a man, he can begin to see how to make it happen. And for me, a happy wife is a happy life. And I often do my best over time to respond to my wife's needs. Now, I may forget that she suggested it. And when it comes back around a couple of weeks later in my brain, I sometimes think it was my idea. Of course, she playfully sets me straight, reminding me that that was her idea and that I initially resisted it. She says, I told you that a couple of weeks ago and you thought it was a bad idea. To which I respond, wow, now I think it's a great idea. So this drives her a little bit crazy, but she's happy that giving me time allows my boat to turn. Good news is that once I get my brain turned in a new direction, I'm good and I can stay the course. I believe that it's one of the strengths of men in leadership that they do turn slowly so that there's not the disruption of a rapid shift. But it can be aggravating for those who are in relationship with a barge because change doesn't happen as quickly. There's not the immediate responsiveness that would be ideal. Nevertheless, God has designed us as men and women to function in tandem, to work together, to honor each other's strengths and make up for each other's weaknesses. Over time, we can learn from our partner to be a little more like them, to be more affirming and enjoy those differences rather than resist them. I pray today that as you relate to others in your life, whether they be a barge or a sailboat, that you honor the differences and make allowance for each of you to show up in your best way possible. God bless you. I love you.